Hello and welcome to Camping with the Coles. Today I have a gear review for you. This is the OUPES 1200 solar generator, consisting of a 1200 watt power station and a 240 watt solar panel. Now OUPES was kind enough to send us this solar generator in order for us to do a review of it, so we didn't have to pay anything for it. But still, this is my honest opinion about this solar generator. I am no expert on electricity, on electrical devices, on solar power, solar generators. If you're looking for a really technical kind of review, then this is probably not the review for you. But here's what I am going to be talking about. I'm going to show you the specs of this solar generator. I'm going to show you how to charge it. I'm going to do some comparisons to this unit compared to some of the other big boys in the solar power generator market. We're going to have a close-up look at it. We're going to show you how to set up the solar panel and hook it into the power station. We're going to test it out with several different types of camping devices, including just plugging the trailer into it. I'm going to show you how I plan on using the device, and at the very end, I'm going to show you a little hack that can increase the charging speed. So let's get into it. Now OUPES called this the 1200 because it can provide 1200 watts of electricity to power devices. Now it can have a peak higher than that. This can have a peak of up to 3,600 watts. That's really important with a lot of devices, because a lot of devices, when you first plug them in, they do a big surge. They need a lot of power in the initial stages, and then they settle back down to a normal power. Things like power tools, heaters, things like that. 3,600 is a really big peak. The battery capacity is 992 watt hours. That's how much electricity the battery can store. Now it's called 1200. The 1200 is how much power the battery can output in order to power up devices. There's three ways you can charge this unit. The first way is with the included AC adapter. You just plug this into a wall outlet in your home or in your trailer, anything with AC power, and you can charge it that way. The second way is with a DC outlet. You can plug this into your vehicle. Some people call it a cigarette lighter, 12 volt, DC, whatever. Plug it into your vehicle, and you can plug it into the power station. That's also included. And then there's the solar panels. Now, solar panels are not included unless you buy it as a package. So you can buy the power station on its own, or you can buy the power station in a deal with a 100 watt solar panel, 200 watt solar panels, or a 240 watt solar panel, which is what I have here. But do keep in mind that the maximum input of power that can go into the unit is 200 watts. So if this was operating at its full capacity of bringing in 240 watts of solar power, it could only put in 200 watts to the power station. Now let's talk about the look and functionality of it compared to some other brands. At first glance, this looks a lot like a Jackery. Jackery is the biggest name in the solar generator market. This has the same form factor as the Jackery. It even has the same color scheme with the orange and the black. It's got the plastic handle on top. It looks a lot like a Jackery. Now the display on this is much nicer than the Jackery display. And here's where it looks like it may have borrowed the display from the EcoFlow. It looks remarkably a lot like the EcoFlow display. It shows the power in percentage. It shows how many watts are going into it, how many watts are coming out of it, and how much time left of power at that level of output that you're currently using. And then they one-upped it even more from the Jackery and the EcoFlow. They use the same kind of battery that the Blue Eddy uses. It uses a lithium iron phosphate battery. Now the Jackery and the EcoFlow use a lithium ion battery. A lithium ion battery generally can do a full charge recycle from 0 to 100% 500 times before the maximum battery charge is at 80%. That's the standard, getting the level to 80%. So 500 cycles for a lithium ion battery, lithium iron phosphate battery, 2,500 cycles plus. So 5 times the number of times you can charge this battery, so it will last a lot longer than the Jackery and the EcoFlow. Now let's talk price. It's really hard to compare apples to apples here because each company puts out different sizes and specs of power stations, but I'm going to compare it to a few of comparable models, or as close to comparable models as I can, to the OUPES 1200. The Jackery Explorer 1000 has a 1002 watt-hour battery and has a 1000 watt output with a 2000 watt surge. The 1000 watt power station alone is $999. All dollar figures I'm going to be giving are US prices. Price with a 100 watt solar panel is $1,298, and price with two 100 watt solar panels is $1,499. The Bluetti EB70S has a 716 watt-hour battery and can output 800 watts. The next level up from there is a 2000 watt unit, so there's nothing really in close comparison to the OUPES 1200. However, the 800 watt power station is priced at $599. The price with a 120 watt solar panel is $918, and price with 200 watt solar panel is $1,098. The EcoFlow 1800 watt power station is their smallest power station. It has a 1024 watt hour battery with an impressive 1800 watt output and a surge of 2700 watts. The 1800 watt power station alone is $999. Priced with a 220 watt solar panel is $1,668. Now for the OUPES. Now the OUPES 1200 watt power station on its own is $666. The price with a 100 watt solar panel is $999. Price with two 100 watt solar panels is $1,099. And the price with a 240 watt solar panel is $1,199. So the Jackery Explorer 1000 and the OUPES 1200 are the most similar units for comparison. They both have approximately a 1000 watt-hour battery. However, the OUPES has an extra 200 watts of output as it's at 1200 watts, where the Jackery is at 1000. And the OUPES has 1600 more surge watts than the Jackery. And the OUPES 240 watt solar panel is 40 more watts than the solar panel in the comparison we're doing here. And after all that, the OUPES 1200 is $300 cheaper than the Jackery. All that is to say is that the OUPES is a budget-friendly solar generator that can compete with the big boys in the portable solar generator market. All the prices I've given you are the regular prices for these products. These prices change all the time. If I were you, I'd be checking the company's websites or Amazon to see if they have any specials or discounts. At the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you a 10% discount on OUPES products. Now let's look at the accessories. There's 3 AC outlets here. This is for your regular household appliances to plug right in there. The button at the bottom is to turn on the power to those ports. Next to that is the power button. That will turn the power on and off, and will also turn the display on. The display only stays on for a few seconds at a time so that it doesn't drain any power. Over on this side, you have a standard DC outlet for plugging in a car charger type device. Below that, you've got 2 barrel outlets for charging DC devices. Below that, you have 2 USB-C inputs. One is 60 watt and the other is 16 watt. Below that, you have 2 USB-A outlets. Right here is the input for charging up either with your AC cable, DC cable, or your solar panel. If we turn this around, on the back, there is a light. It goes on low, high, and SOS mode. This is a portable unit, so it's nice to have that light there. You can use it at the campsite for many different things. The unit weighs 24 pounds, so it is fairly easy to carry with one hand. An installed solar setup on an RV can be very expensive. It can easily cost in the $5,000, $10,000 and plus range. Having the solar panels attached to your roof really limits your solar input. In parks like we camp, which are mostly wooded areas, sometimes on a clear sunny day, you're only going to get 1 to 2 hours of direct sunlight on your panels if they're on your roof. With a portable system like this, you can move the panels along with the sunlight. That's the big benefit for this. Having a portable system means you can use this for more than just RVing. When not RVing and you have the system at home, if you have a power outage, you have immediate power. I have 2 kids that work from home online. If the power goes out, they can't work. All I have to do is plug in the Wi-Fi router and their two computers to the OUPES 1200, and they are good to go. This is how you set up the panels. The legs have straps that are strapped in with Velcro. Set them all up. There's a pouch in the back here. You have 10 feet of cord. It's a good idea to have the power station in a shaded area. You can put it in behind the solar panel or under a tree because batteries don't like to get really hot. Plug it in and it starts charging. Now let's run this thing through a few tests to see how it works. First was a simple test to power up some low power devices. I was able to charge up to 13 batteries from electronic devices at once. I had 6 GoPro batteries, 2 Canon DSLR camera batteries, 2 portable light batteries, and a receiver and 2 transmitters for the Rode Wireless Go 2 microphones. Altogether, they only had a draw of 24 watts, and they used up about 1% of the power station's storage. Granted, they weren't all completely dead. They were at various stages of discharge, but this shows that this power station can power up a ton of your small electronic devices. Next, we tried it on our auto cooler, which is a MobiCool 60-watt DC-powered cooler, and we used the DC plug for it. The OUPES manual says it should be able to run this for 17 hours. When I first plugged it in with the power station at 100%, it showed it should run for 17 hours. I continued doing the test and kept on checking on it. The final results, down to 0%, was 16.5 hours. It showed a consistent 48-watt output while in operation. Now I decided to try this out using the AC adapter, and the power station is at 100%. When I plugged in the AC adapter into it, it showed 14 hours of runtime. It still showed an output of 48 watts, but because of having to convert or invert from DC to AC and back to DC, it lost 3 hours of runtime. Next, I decided to charge up our e-bike battery. It's from a Power Trail Junction e-bike, and I used the AC plug. Bicycle manual says 6 hours of charge time. Testing the power station at 100%, it showed 9 hours of battery life, and it showed an output of 79 watts. So after fully charging the e-bike battery, the power station should still be at about 30%. Next, I used it with our Igloo ice maker using the AC plug. It had a surge of up to 386 watts, then settled down to 104 watts. It showed a runtime of 9 hours. Now it takes 7 minutes for the first 9 cubes, and the power station went down to 99%. It takes an hour for a full tray. After that hour, the power station was down to 85%. When it was in standby mode, there is no watts being used. It only uses power when actively making ice. Now I really wanted to test this to its limits, so I tried in some power-hungry devices. This is a toaster oven air fryer combination. It is 1,150 watts. This should be able to do it because it's 1,200 watts. So we'll give that a test right now. Should be a good workout for it. 944 watts, 945. So that is giving it a workout. It says it'll do 56 minutes now at this level. You can hear the fan kicking on the unit here. And we'll keep this running, and we'll show we're already at 98%. And it says 55 minutes. We'll see what we're at when this is done. Okay, just finished. We did it for 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
We're at 64%. Well, that's not too bad. That was running at like 940 watts the whole time. So the OUPES did a really great job on that one. Now, what if I just want to plug my trailer into this and use this for power? Well, all you need for that is an adapter like this. It's a 30 amp to 15 amp adapter. And let's face it, if you have a 30 amp trailer right now, you should probably already have one of these. This allows you to plug your 30 amp cord into here and then plug it into a regular household outlet. Now I wanted to really test the power station, and I wanted to use the microwave with it. Now in order to plug the microwave directly into it, I would have had to unscrew all these screws here, pull out the microwave in order to access the power cord. Well, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to even add a little more complexity to the test. I'm going to plug the entire trailer into the power station and then operate the microwave. Let's see how that goes. It's microwave on for a minute. Well plugged in, charging with the solar panels. 1,115 watts, and the fan just came on. It says it can do this for 56 minutes. And you can see the microwave turned off. In that example, it showed the draw from the microwave, as well as the draw, the normal draw that's coming from the trailer. And I put a cup of water inside the microwave and set it for 1.5 minutes. Now this power station will not run your air conditioning. It'll run pretty much everything else, but the air conditioning takes over 2,000 watts to run. This is only a 1,200 watt power station. They do make bigger ones, but this one won't be able to run an air conditioner. This will run your microwave. It will run a kettle. I wouldn't recommend doing that when boondocking, because those are real power-hungry devices. Anything with a heating element is very power-hungry and will drain the battery quite quickly. When boondocking, I'd suggest using the microwave as little as possible, or not at all if possible. And instead of using a kettle, just heat up water on your stove or over the fire. Now, plugging your trailer directly into the power station is a very convenient way to use it. However, it's not the most efficient way. It's actually a very inefficient way. The battery in here stores DC power. Once you plug your trailer power cord into it, it has to convert it from DC to AC to go into the trailer. Once in the trailer, in order to charge the trailer batteries, it has to put it back to DC. So each one of those conversions or inversions uses power, and that's power you can't use to power your device. So for instance, with our auto cooler, when I used the DC plug to charge it, it showed 17 hours of runtime. When I used the AC cord to charge it, it showed 14 hours of runtime. So it lost 3 hours of runtime, or about 18% of its power, just converting or inverting it from DC to AC back to DC. Like I said earlier, I am not a techie with all this kind of stuff. And I gotta admit, I had fallen down the internet rabbit hole looking into all this. And I was looking for the best ways to charge up the trailer batteries and the best ways to utilize a portable power station to camping. And there is so much. A lot of it involves bypasses and adding electrical outlets and cords and all sorts of things. I'm not going to get into that. I want to do this the simplest way possible, even if it loses a little bit of efficiency. So here's what I'm going to be doing. When I'm camping and don't have access to electricity, I'm going to be plugging the trailer directly into the power station during the day, and I'm going to be having the solar panels plugged into the power station. So on a good sunny day, that will charge up the trailer batteries, and it will charge up the solar station, getting them hopefully both to 100%. When there's no longer any sun on the solar panels, I'm going to take down the solar panels and I'm going to bring the power station inside. I won't have the trailer plugged in at all. Using the power station inside, I'll use it to run any devices I want to run inside. So at nighttime, I'll be charging up my phones, laptop, watches, camera batteries, lighting, all that sort of stuff. I'll plug that directly into the power station and charge it that way. If I want to watch some TV, I'll plug my TV into that and watch it that way. So overnight, the trailer battery is going to go down a little bit because we're operating off of that at night, and the power station battery will also be going down. So the next morning, hopefully it's sunny again, go back outside, plug the power station back into the trailer, and we start the process again. Charging up the trailer batteries, charging up the power station, getting them both to 100%. Now that is under ideal situations. If it's a cloudy day or a rainy day, you might want to find some other options, such as rainy days, we often go someplace. We will drive to a museum or a winery or something like that. Bring your power station with you, plug it into your vehicle to give it some power when you're driving. If you're near a comfort station, you can take this into the comfort station. Probably the laundry room would be the best place. Plug it in there to charge it up. Now, you don't want anybody stealing it, so that's why I'm saying if you're near the comfort station and you can watch, that would be a good way of doing it. Or if you have a friend or somebody else in the campground that has an electrical site, see if you can go power up your power station there. Now, I tested this at home and found that it easily handled that situation. Now, we're the battery down to 82% on the trailer. I've got the solar panel plugged in. It's bringing in 145 watts. In the trailer with nothing going, just, regular, the water heater and the fridge is on propane. It's now charging the battery, and it's at 74 watts, or 73 watts. So it's 20 watts without charging the battery. It's adding another 50 watts with charging the battery. So what it should do is it should continue to charge the battery till it's full, and then it should top up the power station. At 6:42 p.m. last night, I unplugged the OUPES power station from the trailer. We weren't getting any more sunlight on the solar panels, so there's no reason to have it out anymore and just draining the battery. I then brought the power station in to the trailer and used it as a standalone system, plugging cell phones, camera batteries, things like that, and then operated the regular trailer stuff on the DC power. So not much, little bit of lighting, that sort of thing. The trailer was at the trailer battery was at 100% at 6:42 p.m. last night. It's about 8:40 in the morning right now. So 14 hours later, the trailer battery is at 82%, and well, this is the trailer battery right now, 81%, 12.49 volts. So let's have a look at the power station. It's at 95% capacity. So we're gonna plug it into the solar. The solar doesn't have full sunshine on it yet. It will in an hour or two, and we'll see how fast this thing charges up and how fast it charges the trailer battery up. It'd be nice to get both to 100%. We'll see how long that takes. With low morning sun and a lot of the solar panel not having sunlight on it, it's only bringing in 38 watts, and the output to charge up the trailer battery and run devices in the trailer is 81 watts right now. So right now it's using the power from the power station to mostly charge up the battery. Hopefully as the sun gets a little stronger and accesses the solar panels a little more, this number will go up and be higher than that number, and then we'll be charging everything up, the power station and the batteries. And you can see here it's showing that the batteries for the trailer are charging right now. So about an hour later, you see it's down to 93%. So it was using the power station to charge up the trailer batteries. But now the solar panel is in direct sunlight, and it's bringing in 133 watts, which is much higher than the 59 watts that is being used right now for the trailer and to charge up the trailer batteries. So this unit is going to charge up now, and the trailer batteries are going to charge up at the same time. I just turned off the power from the power station to the trailer because I wanted to see how the trailer battery was doing, and the trailer battery is fully charged 100%, and it was only about an hour and 20 minutes to fully charge it from 82%. So don't know how long it actually took because I wasn't watching this thing the whole time, but maximum hour and 20 minutes. So that's pretty amazing. And now it's just charging up the power station. I think I'll put the power back on, and I'll be supplying power to the trailer now. Well, charging up the power station and keeping the batteries topped off. Just checking in on it an hour later, power station's fully charged. I still have it hooked up because it'll keep topping up the battery as the day goes. In all my testing with this unit, the most I've ever seen the solar panels put into the power station is 180 watts. And that's also what plugging into a household outlet does, puts in 180 watts. I've never seen it get up to 200 watts. When I was doing the test with the trailer, it looked to be direct sunlight on the panels, but for some reason I was only getting 145 watts. That might have been, it wasn't a perfect 90-degree angle with the sun, something like that. But I was only getting 145 watts. Now let's talk charge time. Plugging this into the AC wall adapter, it should take about 6.5 hours to fully charge this from 0 to 100%. Plugged into the 240 watt solar panel, it should take about 6 hours to charge fully from 0 to 100%. And charging with the DC outlet car charger, it should take about 12 hours because that's only about 96 watts. But I do have a little hack for you. Something that will allow you to put more power into this than the rated 200 watts that it can take in. If you look at this USB-C outlet right here, it says PD 60 watts. That's power delivery. So you can plug a USB-C cord into here and into an outlet, and you can put 60 watts of power on top of the 200 watts that's going in. So, for instance, I mentioned plugging it into a wall and AC adapter, I was getting 180. So it's bringing in 180 watts. You can do the same time the USB-C connector and add another 60 watts to that to have it actually bringing in 240 watts, even though it's only stated to bring in 200 watts. Now, you could also do that if you were to buy an extra solar panel and it had a USB-C connector on it. You can get some cheap ones on the internet that have all sorts of different connectors to it, and if you can get one with a USB-C connector, you can plug that directly into here and have more solar going into it. Also, when using your DC outlet, it brings in 96 watts. Plug in the USB-C, bring in another 60 watts. The nice people at OUPES have offered discount codes to our viewers. If you go to the OUPES website and put in the discount code of Coles10, you get 10% off site-wide. If you go to Amazon and bring up the OUPES 1200, you can put in the discount code OUPES 1200 and get 10% off your product there. I'll put both links in the description below. Well, there we have it. That's the OUPES 1200. We'll see you in the next one. Happy camping.